Well, good morning Spurs fans, Paul Hotspur hippie here, the only psychedelic soccer show on the internet. Not feeling tremendously psychedelic at the moment, just had about 3 hours sleep after the game. And here we are again folks, here we are again. International break, and I have to carry the stench of defeat around for 2 weeks. Happens every time, man. Happens every time. I mean, this is weird. This is weird. Let's talk about the game, eh? Not a lot to say, is there? I'll probably say that before waffling on for a few minutes. Okay, so first half. I know that we weren't terrible. Like we weren't uber rubbish like we were against Crystal Palace or the first half against Galatasaray. Our passing was good up to a point, but what was missing was intensity. No intensity really, and it don't matter who you're playing in football. If you're not up for it as much as the other team, they're going to do you. They're going to do you, and that's pretty much what happened in the first half. Ipswich got 2 goals in the first half, and that just left us too much to do. I was hopeful, actually. I was hopeful because we did bang 4 past Villa in the second half the other week, that maybe we could do that again. But I think Ipswich played better than Aston Villa, really. I don't know what's going on with the players, man. When they come out and they're not on it, man. They're not on it. They're nearly on it. Like I say, it wasn't terrible, but it just wasn't good enough. I'm not trying to flower it up. I just think in terms of performance, it was better than the other 2 teams, but it's still nowhere near good enough. Nowhere good enough. I mean, that makes sense, doesn't it? Because you can see the difference in the second half, where we came out really up for it. Folks, it's too late, man. It's too late. If you'd have done that in the first half, I wouldn't be walking around here miserable with the funk of defeat hanging over my shoulders, Ange himself, Ange in the press conference himself said, yeah, it was tempo, intensity in the first half. He's taking responsibility though. He's saying that it's up to him to prepare the players better. He's still shielding them, man. So you've got to say that to him. You've got to give him credit for that. He's taking pressure off the players as much as possible, and he's going to do something about it. Try and do something about it. Not like previous managers that people think the sun shines out their arse, who pretty much bottled it and threw their prams out and said it's not me, it's them. Well, Andrew's saying it is him, and I mean, I think he's still the guy to turn us around anyway. So, if we had played like the second half in the first half, wouldn't be sat here. Now, this is another reason for us disappointing. I said this was a golden ticket game before the game because there was a lot to play for. There's a lot to play for in every game. So it's my own arbitrary category. Doesn't mean anything. And all the other results went our way. All the other results that went our way. Maybe you could argue, if you're going for the title, that Liverpool winning wasn't our way, but hey, let's assume that that's not happening. We would have been third if we would have won that game 1-0 last night, 1-0. And on the one hand, that's very disappointing because we're in 10th place. But then the other way I look at it is, well, we're only 3 points off third place. So it's very squashed up, that top half of the table. No one's running away with it. Chelsea and Arsenal bored each other to death in a 1-1 draw. I didn't watch it. I just assume it was a boring game. I don't need to watch those clowns. So, yeah, 10th in the table, but only 1 win away. So the problem with us not taking that chance is we've got to get ourselves in the frame to take another chance and hopefully take the next one. Our next game was away against Manchester City, which is doable. I mean, we can beat anyone on our day. But whether circumstances will be the same for us to march up the table, I don't know if it's going to be there. But a win will be a win. Ipswich Played well enough in the first half. I mean, it was the overhead kick goal was a great goal. The second goal was just a stumbly, bumbly, 50-50 crap thing that happens in football. Sometimes it happens for you, sometimes it happens against you. Dominic Solanke had a goal disallowed for handball in the second half. I don't know the latest handball rule because they keep changing the bloody thing. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that was a bit harsh, but I would say that. And then when Bentancur got his header in, I thought, okay, at least we're back in the game. But this is what the story was a bit like against Galatasaray. Second half good, gave us a chance, but the damage was already done in the first half. So the players really got to pull their heads in and sort out this how they start games. Because I have seen them when they approach a game with tempo and with intensity, and we generally win those games. But when you're not putting 100% in for the first 45 minutes, you know, during the game I actually thought I didn't really spot it because I thought, well, I didn't not spot it, but I thought so long as we're softening Ipswich up for the second half, because as matches go on, you generally see Tottenham get stronger and stronger as we've just beaten the other team into submission, tired them out. But that wasn't the case. We didn't do that to Ipswich at all. Ipswich, of course, resorted to a load of time wasting and cheating crap. I hate that. I hate that about the modern game. Ange said quite rightfully that it was more a feature in European football than English football, but now it's part of the Premier League. So well done, Premier League. As usual, the referee did nothing about the time wasting. And whenever referees do anything about time wasting, it's usually a card in the 85th minute when the damage has already been done. So, you know, I mean, if the Premier League want this to change, to make the game more of a spectacle for a full 90 minutes instead of just 30 or 45 or 60, they've got to get their refs to pin this down earlier. Stop going to ground. Stop lying on the ball. Stop rolling around like you've been shot in the leg. But whether they will or not, I don't know. But I mean, that doesn't take away from Ipswich's win. Well, it does a bit. It puts a couple of drops in the shark-infested water. You know, I get it. They're bottom of the table, desperate for a win. So I understand why they had to resort to the dark arts, because they were scared that if they didn't, we would just steamroller them. And again, you know, in that second half, we had quite a lot of chances and didn't stick them away. Although Timo Werner actually played all right. Missed a shot in the centre, unfortunately. You know, again, it's our front attacking portion of the game where if you don't take chances, you're going to lose games, aren't you? So, disappointing, very, very disappointing actually, very disappointing. But after a few hours sleep, I'm a bit more philosophical about it. Like I say, okay, we are 10th in the table, we lost against Ipswich, but we're only 3 points off third place. So it could be worse. If we were 10th and they say 8 points off top 4, it'd be a different story, but we're not, because no one above us is really pulling clear. So providing Ange and the players get this sorted out, we will have other opportunities. There will be other golden ticket games. Of course, disappointing to see, but to be expected. Whenever Spurs lose or have a bad performance, the fans, I don't know what you call them, I don't know if you call them fans, that remain very, very quiet after a win, all come out the woodwork. Just to say no, it looks like to me. It's very childish. And I don't understand it. Why you would use a loss to take pleasure in a fellow fan's disappointment. I mean, you can try that with me, but it ain't going to work. So, you know, but it's just, I mean, that's why I think it's so daft. Now, look, if you're an Arsenal fan or a Liverpool fan or a Chelsea fan or West Ham or whatever, it's your job to give a shit, absolutely, and that is all part of the game. You know, that's something I can take that sort of stuff all day, because I can give that back quite easily. But when you get comments from some of our own fans, sometimes it's very hard to tell if someone is a fan of Tottenham or an opposing team these days. It's very, very different. You know, like I've said this a few times. Support has changed a lot since I was a young fan. I've been at Tottenham when we had diabolical years, and there was never this "I told you so" no attitude from fans. I never came across it. But hey, I mean, that was before the internet, wasn't it? So maybe they were out there, but they didn't have the chance to have a voice. And I hope they don't influence and shape other people's opinions, because supporting a football club, to me, is supporting the club through the difficult times, and not just coming on board when we do well. We have to show a bit of character, a bit of backbone, and get behind the team even when we don't win. So if you're one of those fair weather fans that wants to come and have a pop, and come out with your Ange out crap, hey, I mean, do what you want, man. It's a free world, isn't it? I'm not going to tell people what they can and can't do. I just think it's dumb. I mean, it's dumb. It's dumb. It's a symptom of this trolly internet society, and even that world of filth has penetrated football fandom. It's probably at other clubs. I know we've got it ourselves, where we have people who take sick glee in a defeat, sick glee, rubbing their hands so that they can say they were right. Right about what? You're not a football manager. You're not a player. I mean, anyone could be right about anything, can't they, in hindsight, and talk about standards. I have standards. What's that got to do with anything? Where have your standards, how have they affected the club thus far? If the main gripe with these people is a completely vindictive vendetta against Daniel Levy, who, as I've said several times, did a video the other day I'm no fan of, no fan at all. But unlike them, I don't care who owns the club to a certain extent, because it's not their club. Yes, they might have their names and signatures on the legal paperwork in the Cayman Islands or wherever it is. That's all 20th century crap. The football club always belongs to the fans. It's our club. It's our club. And we can set the tone of what exists. And just because you don't like the owner, I think it's pathetic to then cheer and be happy and have a smirk on your face and start trolling around like you do, attacking people, just because some people want to support the club. Some people want to support your club. If you don't want to do that, I've got no interest in you. I mean, this channel is not a place for that. This is, I think, one of the few channels that supports Tottenham Hotspur. I know United Spurs of America does as well. So I ain't going to put the boot in. I'm not going to go Ange out. I'm not going to say this player's shit, that player's shit. We shouldn't have bought him. He's too much. What do I know? It's not my money, is it? I mean, if you buy a player for 40 million or 50 million, that's all ridiculous money that I'll never see in my life. What do I care? So that's all irrelevant to me. And when the good times do come, it's all well and good to support the club then, but support, like I say, it's through thick and thin. Support gets a team a huge way. It can lift a team. Perhaps it shouldn't, but it bloody well does. And if you're not fully behind what's going on at Tottenham, then you're part of a self-fulfilling prophecy of failure. And when I look at our lack of success over the years, people point at this and point at that. We've got to point the finger at ourselves and think, well, what can we do better? How can we support the manager and players better? Because maybe when in the last 20 years you get to 3 finals and you finish second in the league, maybe we are the difference. We are the difference, and we can do better ourselves. So, that's what I'm going to do. I've said my piece on that. I know people will appear in my chats that only appear when we lose. Well done to you. Thanks for your subscription. Thanks for the advertising revenue you generate. But I would prefer when I know when we win, and we will win. It's all right. We are going to win a game of football, folks. That you'll all disappear, and you'll have left no mark on me, You'll have left no mark on my views of the club. So what's the point? I don't know. It's futile, isn't it? Futile. Silly, immature, I don't know. Funny, isn't it? I like what Jacob says actually about when people talk about standards. It's like, you know, some bloke saying, oh, I wouldn't have sex with her, she's only a 7, you know. it's quite funny, man. I have standards. Yeah, all right, well done. Anyway, folks, disappointing, man. It is disappointing. But we'll come through this, man. We'll come through this. We've got the international break to sit with it. I'm kind of more philosophical already. Like I say, 3 points off third place. There's a stat for you. That's a fact. That's not a feeling. We're not far away. But we just need to get this start to the game sorted out. And Ange is saying that he's taking responsibility. He'll try and change something. And that's what you want. Someone that reads the room and does something about it. So let's hope that Ange does it. Ange in all the way. Tottenham Hotspur all the way. Still by far the greatest football team the galaxy's ever seen. So it don't matter, does it? Anyway, peace and love, man. Peace and love, and come on, you Spurs.